All right, so the whole objective of this video, the reason I'm making this is a lot of couples, when they move in here in Berlin or in Germany or anywhere else in Germany in general, they face a lot of issues at different levels, like basics, like finding an accommodation. What kind of visa should they come on? How do they integrate into society? Safety aspects in this country, can women go out and all that? I'm gonna get into more details, but for now, let's go ahead and why don't we start with in a sort of a journey. So if a couple wants to come from India to Berlin, for example, you came in 2015, but he's here for quite a long time now. Yeah, that's right. Right? So what kind of preparations were required and, from your end?
I think the most important thing that your documents has to be in place. So when you apply for visa, there are some basic documents which you need to have, so you can go and you can, because Germany works on the documents. So if anything is missing, then you're adding a timeline, like an extra timeline to your visa application. So the basic documents which you need to have is passport, your application form signed, your cover letter, if your spouse has been living in Germany for more than 6 months, so if they have blue card or residence permit, and a marriage certificate. What else? Yeah, I think
maybe your date of birth.
Yeah, the birth certificate and the higher qualification. Especially the 10th is really important, because in India the 10th,
which is the high school,
basically. High school, you need to have the certificate.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So. Just a quick follow-up question on the documents list. Is there any document which is really hard to source?
I can say from my experience that for me the most important part was the birth certificate. Okay. Because when I was born, the birth certificate was somewhere else. Because I'm from Delhi, but I was born in Bihar, but my schooling and education was everything from Delhi. Okay. So my parents had to travel to Bihar to get the birth certificate. Right. So that was quite a challenging experience for them to, get the birth certificates.
And one of the key things we noticed while collecting the documents, so the embassy asked for high school certificate and birth certificate, and we understood that the reason why they're asking for high school certificate is because in India, high school certificate is one of the key documents that defines, or is a document that basically legally accepted for your date of birth. Okay. So they ask both of them. However, the key thing is, don't get intimidated by the list of documents. You have the right to call the embassy and challenge them. So we didn't have that. She didn't have the birth certificate. She didn't have the high school certificate because it was lost. But she did have the birth certificate. So I called the embassy and I said, hey, I understand that the whole reason why you're asking for the high school certificate is because you want to validate the date of birth. Right. When you have the birth certificate, why do you want high school certificate? Correct. If somebody's not educated, if somebody hasn't taken that exam, how would they give it to you? Yeah. And the lady said, okay, then that's fine. Just give us the date of birth. That's how. So the key thing here is, guys, don't be intimidated by the process. All right. If you have a proper reasoning, you can make that.
Right. Put your valid points in front.
Exactly.
And
they will listen.
Exactly. Right.
They're reasonable people,
Right. So it's not like hard rule, and then otherwise go back home.
No. I mean, you have to. You
need to have a valid points,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. You have to be able to argue it, and that should.
Right. So. Great. So you took all those list of documents. Anshuman, do you want to explain, walk us through the process, and were you in India while she was collecting and doing all those things? So
sure. Yeah. So she did a great job, by the way, of doing all the administrative stuff. So I told her, hey, go to the embassy, get the papers and fill the application. So she was great help. I didn't do nothing there. One of the things that I would suggest anybody and everybody who's aspiring to come join their spouses here in Germany, doesn't matter, wife, husband, whoever, get your marriage registration done even before you do the
Indian
style wedding. Do that well in advance, because the whole spouse visa procedure in general takes quite long. Could be from 1 to 3 months. And what you want to avoid is that you get married and then you're here, your wife is there, and then you're waiting for the visa to come through. Right. So what we did, and what I would recommend, is that get your marriage certified. So go to the court, get the court marriage done, get the paper, get the documents, so marriage certificate. Go apply for the visa.
Okay.
And then start working on your the traditional wedding. Do that traditional wedding in the meantime, and by the time you're done, you will have your visa ready. That's what happened to us. So we did that like 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
Before our set date of wedding was. We did that, and then in the meantime we did the other things, and then by the time we got married, which was 4th of December, I should remember that, and I do on camera. so we did that, and we got our visa well in advance, and we got married. The next day we flew back to India together, and that is really a great experience for the wife or the husband.
Correct.
So you fly in together to the new country, and then you can really, you have 8 hours of flight, so you can talk about life, how you want to spend the rest of your lives together, and then you basically move in here. And so again, key point, get your marriage certificate well in advance before you do the traditional wedding. That will make the entire experience very easy, a little bit simple, and also worthwhile.
Right.
I forgot a key point as well, if you allow me to put in there. The entire process of getting a visa approved is quite lengthy.
Okay.
and needs a lot of scrutiny. So one of the things that, and it could differ from case to case depending on where you live, it could depend on the status, but more or less it's the same. So one of the key things that happens is that the embassy will send, in 99% of the cases, a embassy appointed lawyer to your spouse's home. So basically both the parties, the lawyer will visit, so in our case, visited her family, met her parents, met the neighbors, took photos, then went to my family, met my parents, took photos.
Wow.
And this is done to avoid sham marriages, contract marriages.
Okay.
And this definitely does happen. And this is a part of document verification, the entire process. And so if your papers are in order, nothing to worry about, no problem, everything goes well, these are nice people, they're not scary or something. They come, they talk to you, they ask you some questions just to make sure that your story matches.
Right.
And this will happen 99% of the cases.
Okay.
So once that's done, the guy files a report, you get your visa, everything fine, you buy your ticket, hopefully it's already in there, you get married, sit in the plane, talk about life, land. Now you're here.
Now I'm officially.
Now we're here, yeah. Now we land land in Germany, Berlin, Munich, Hamburg, wherever. We live in Berlin, so we can talk about our life in Berlin.